Oh yes, we have another before and after, my absolute favorite. This is a tattoo inspired by something called pinstriping. It was really popular in the early 2000s, and today we're going to cover it with some cool space work. You guessed it, I'm going to be sticking some random circles on and freehanding whatever I can to cover these lines. A quick tip that I have for you guys, especially for a forearm piece, is to start from the bottom and work your way up. From my personal experiences and working with people, the wrist is really sensitive and it swells. It is not fun to go back into, so I always just try to get it done and over with first. As for the rest of this tattoo, my client was very excited to get rid of these lines and requested that I use a bunch of really fun bright colors. So think Lisa Frank Sherbet Ice Cream Space Sleeve Cover-Up. You know what, I'll just show you real quick. Ooh, there she is. She's so beautiful. Check it out. One more session and she'll be all done. So my client has these tattoos that she got from her ex back in the day. So we're going to cover these up and get rid of them for her. My client already came up with a really cool concept of some tree silhouettes and a nice space scene. So my job is to now create something from her concept. I start off by taking some tracing paper and measuring out the previous work that we're going to be covering. This is a great way to map out your tattoo and plan for future concepts, especially if you're unsure about what you're going to be doing. I was able to make exact sizes of the trees that I need for my client's arm because of the outline and map out that I made. This makes it really easy to pretty much puzzle on the pieces that you want to play around with. So here's the really messy concepts that I came up with. And this is after all the work is done. Now, it is a work in progress, so there's going to be some areas that are unfinished that I will add on to later. I wanted to give a big shout out to my client today for coming from a different state like a crazy to come get work from me. You're amazing. I happen to notice that a large portion of my followers absolutely love Disney, so this one goes out to all you guys today. So this is an outline of the character Thumper from the Disney movie Bambi. The tattoo wasn't exactly her preferred style, so I'm going to help her fix it today. We decided on an illustrative watercolor style that kind of reminds me of the artwork you'd find in really old storybooks. I'm personally going straight into this tattoo and freehanding all the things that I visualize for it. I use a smaller needle to sketch on top of, around, and with the bolder previous lines to give it a really cool artsy look. The next step is to color everything in. For this part, it's pretty much the same as lining. I have an idea of what I want it to look like in the end, and I just pretty much do it. After that, you just finish the tattoo with details and white highlights. I am so happy with how this came out and just wanted to say thank you so much for driving from a different state to come get this. Yes. The relic, the tiger tattoo from the 90s. A precious gem, but ultimately must be covered. I'm extra and think I'm artistic, so I freehanded the base of the tattoo. My client wanted bear trees, so my client got bear trees. I'll be covering the rest of this tiger with some galaxy and space work, so I suggested that if we're going to be doing stars anyways, why not add her daughter's constellation? I have anxiety and I overthink things a lot, so I know how to hide really cool things for my clients and their tattoos. I am absolutely obsessed with the universe and light, so I add a shit ton of stars to this. Even though we killed that Tiger King, my client, you must know, you are still a queen. You are able to make and live in any reality and world that you want. Thank you for such a wonderful day today. My client has some leftover spaces from a sleeve he's working on, so we're going to fill it today with the butterfly he requested for his daughter. A tip I wish somebody would have given me when I was learning to work with filler pieces is to take some tracing paper and to pre-outline the space and area you have to work with. This way you can print off multiple sizes and compare them to the space that you have to work with. This butterfly size is perfect and doesn't go out of the boundaries, so we're going to use that one. Next up, you're going to want to prepare your stencil. What I put down was something called Thermofax paper, which you can buy online. I recommend using a ballpoint pen for making your stencils because you're able to see a weird little sheen of where you've been drawing it and keep track of what you've already done. All I'm doing is simply applying pressure and tracing all the black areas and most recognizable areas of this butterfly to create a stencil to tattoo from. Flip your paper to make sure you're progressing with your stencil and hold it in the light to make sure you're on track. Next, simply tattoo it. And to the asswipes who are going to say like, oh my god, you forgot like half of his arm. This is just a filler piece. He's going to put something else there. So I saw in the comments that somebody was asking if I've ever tattooed an octopus, and if so, if I could post a video of it. Luckily for you, I actually get to finish this octopus that I started about a year ago. Sometimes your tattoo might need more than one appointment to finish it. This is usually required for a high detail piece or if your artist is a little bit on the slower side. It's okay, be nice. As a tattoo artist, you need to be mindful of adding new work to a healed piece. Always try to blend and merge your new work into the healed tattoo. This allows for a much smoother transition between fresh and older work. This also helps avoid unwanted and uneven color tones. After a few hours, we finished my client's tattoo today, and I am absolutely over the moon about it. Thank you so much for picking me as your artist and for also coming back and letting me finish it. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over this beautiful tattoo sleeve. This is a really unique and personalized sleeve for my client because she has 2 children. One of her kids' name is Ember and the other child's name is Orion. If you look back to the reference, you'll see there's fire that has embers that dance up into Orion's belt. If I can give you guys any tip about tattoos this video, it's to make sure that your tattoo stays yours. You want to make sure that it's unique and it screams something that represents you. Anyways, this is what we got done today. Check back later for more. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over my client's request to cover up this Friday the 13th tattoo. So my client wanted a butterfly, but she also wanted to keep her lettering. These are the challenges that I absolutely love. So I start freehanding in the background and eventually I block in the butterfly's outline. Tip alert! I can't say this enough, tattoo around the areas that you plan on putting white in. This is going to help the longevity of the white and the brightness of the tattoo. At this point, I've already finished a majority of the butterfly's color packing. The only thing that we have left is white highlights. Before I go in on the whites, I'm going to give her a quick touch up on her reds just to avoid any reds smearing into some super fresh whites, therefore creating some super not welcome pinks. Nobody likes a murky color tattoo. Anyways, this is how my client's before and after came out today. I just wanted to give her a super shout out and say thank you for being one of my first TikTok followers and being so sweet to me today. What's up everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to go over my client's armpit tattoo. So my client has this beautiful flower in her pit, but she wanted to jazz it up a little bit. She brought in a lot of really cool references surrounding the ideas like surrealism, pop art, and graphic design. So I knew what I had to do. Grab a Sharpie and go crazy with it. With the subject matters that she brought in, you pretty much just gotta follow your artistic heart, go crazy, don't be afraid, and execute the tattoo the best that you can. Being a tattooer can sometimes be absolutely terrifying because projects like this come in that are absolutely wild and you can be afraid that you might let them down. I am pleased to report to all of you that my client let me know that I did not let her down today and she was very happy with the outcome of her tattoo. On top of it all, my client almost fell asleep at one point today while I was tattooing her armpit. So props to you, dude. You did amazing. Hey, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be going into how I add on to this elephant tattoo. If you saw my other videos, you'll see that sometimes I print off a picture of my client's tattoo to draw out the concepts. My client's request was to have a savanna scene bordered by ripped skin. I pencil everything out that I visualize for the design and eventually transfer it directly to the person's tattoo. From this point, I usually just hold up my reference that I just made and reproduce it onto the client. Now this is a work in progress, we have much more to go, including a sunset to space transition, 3D shadowing, and highlights. Check back for part 2. Hey there, and welcome back once again. If you've ever wondered what a cover-up of cover-up of cover-up looks like, look no further. This is definitely a multiple session project. However, today's goal is to pretty much replace and cover up all the old space in the background and to also eventually move down to some of the outlines and fill them in. And her outlines actually consist of a peacock, which will be the new subject matter to cover up the old sleeve. Now, I'm not the original artist of the first attempt of a cover-up or the second, however, I will be the third one and the final one to make sure that she leaves happy this time. With that being said, my biggest tip I can give you about cover-ups is to always research your artist. Make sure you look at plenty of before and after examples before committing an appointment with this person. It is more than okay to interview your tattooer to make sure that they also fit you perfectly. Now, my client did have to leave early today, so we didn't get as much done as we planned on, but this is the progress so far.